What's going on, my friends? Welcome back to the Comeback Journey podcast. Here with me is Xiomar. We met through an incredible group of people called the Level Up Collective, and he actually made the intro for my YouTube channel recently. And he's a really cool guy. I'm very excited to have him on here. So if you want to introduce yourself and give a little background.
Thank you for having me here, Nick. My name is Xiomar Cruz, and I'm 24 years old. I'm from Puerto Rico. I'm chasing right now or pursuing my dream of being a filmmaker, a freelance, and just doing my own thing. So that's pretty much what I've been up to these days. I studied nursery, actually, but I ended up dropping out on bachelor's. I only have an associate's, if that's how you call it in English.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I only have that. I dropped out on bachelor's, saved for my camera, and I've been doing it for like 5 or 6 months consistently. I've been doing it for 4 years per se, but like full on 6 months now.
That's awesome. When have you always lived in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, man. Like, actually, I have not gone anywhere else.
You've never been anywhere else?
No, sir. Not traveled once.
What?
So, yeah, man. So I'm planning to actually travel there to Cali and meet Jay Greer. Yeah, I don't know if he told you about it, but that's like in my bucket list for 2020, 2021, if this whole COVID situation doesn't get crazy again. So yeah, I want to do that.
That would be awesome. He lives like 10 minutes away from me. So
that would be sick, man.
Yeah, and Cody lives right here too. He's like 10 minutes away also.
Oh, damn. That would be sick. Like, I would make you guys great content.
Sure. Yeah, man. It'd be cool to have you come out here and visit, especially like if you've never been anywhere else. Like, this is an amazing place. I feel like sometimes I take it for granted, because I've lived here my whole life. Like, I don't appreciate it as much as I could, but it is an incredible place.
Yeah, sometimes I do that as well. Like, I live in a tropical island. That's how you pronounce it. Mm-hmm. Sorry if my pronunciation is like a bit off sometimes.
That's all right.
But yeah, we have a lot of gems in here in which I haven't been yet. So this year, I wanted to explore the whole island, record it, make movies about it. But COVID-19, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
So you guys are the same as here, like everything's on lockdown. And we were just talking before about like the beaches and how there's, it's like you can go on the beach, but you can't really do anything on the beach.
No. You just, you can go and exercise, but people don't do that.
Yeah.
They be swimming around the whole area and stuff, so it's been bad.
Yeah. So growing up out there, like, do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I actually have 3 brothers, and one is older, one is smaller than me. Younger.
I have 2 brothers, one older and one younger.
Oh, so you're just in the middle like me.
Yeah.
You know how it feels.
Yeah, man. I used to think it was like the worst thing ever, but now I think that like the middle child is something special,
Yeah, it's like you absorb things from the smaller one and the bigger one, then there's your character.
Yeah, that's a good
that has a bit of influence. Yeah.
So what about your parents? Are they still together? Do they live there as well?
Yeah, they're still together. They've been together for like 20 years, and I live with them.
Okay. Yeah, I live with my mom as well. I moved in here in February, like right before this.
Oh, really? So
COVID
that's recent.
Yeah, so like just good luck or like the universe pushing me in the right direction. But I moved in here like the first week of February, and then like a month later, everything happened. So I feel very
that's pretty good luck, right?
Yeah. So in regard to your brothers, are you close with them? Do they live there as well?
Um, my smaller brother just got married actually,
Oh
and he
wow.
doesn't live here anymore. So it's kind of crazy. My older brother is like 30 now, and he has two childs. He's already married, normal life.
Mhm.
And then there's me, like the crazy one, chasing a dream, and just working on 9 to 5, which he actually hates. I hate my 9 to 5. I'm not gonna deny it. And right now, actually, I'm in the middle of making a project. It's like a reconstruction of a church. I'm recording everything. I'm making edits. It's like a Netflix TV show,
Oh,
something
that's
like that.
cool.
Yeah, it's not for Netflix, but like that format.
Hmm.
So
That's
that's what
awesome.
I'm being up to.
So when you said like when you originally went to school, you studied nursing, like to become a nurse. Why did you pick that originally?
There's always been something about me that I like to help people.
Mm.
And my mom is a nurse, so I saw my mom helping people and being useful in a way. I was like, you know what? I want to give this a try. Actually, so I went and studied nursing, yeah. And it wasn't anything like I imagined,
Mm.
like I had it in my head. It's I don't want to get into details, but it's not like the greatest job out there.
Yeah.
So
So
that's what made me study.
so you said you got an associate's degree in nursing, but
Yes.
you're not like your 9 to 5 job, that's not nursing?
No, sir. Actually, I work on recycling at the mall.
Okay.
Yeah, I pick up garbage and it's stuff that you can recycle.
Mm.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like the most fun job.
No, it isn't.
So what originally got you into the filmmaking? Like, has that
Oh,
always been something that you've been passionate about?
wow. That's a great question, my man. When I first got into filmmaking, I was just randomly watching videos, and then this video popped up called Sam Calder, My Year 2016. So I clicked on it and I started watching, and I'm like, I'm blown away, man. I'm like, how does this guy makes real life look so epic and tells you a story at the same time about how his year went? And I started watching, and then I clicked on the next video, and I started watching Sam Calder, like full on.
Mm.
Like he's my inspiration. For those of you who don't know who Sam Calder is, he's like the greatest filmmaker. It's like in basketball you have Michael Jordan.
Mm.
In filmmaking you have Sam Calder. It's the same thing, greatest ever. So I started watching it, and then I decided, you know what? I want to be like this. I'm just gonna be this good eventually, and I want to travel the world making movies like he does. And that's how I got in. So I bought my camera, started practicing. At first, I was awful, man. Like, it was really bad. But it's like you rap, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
It's like rapping. At first, you're awful. Then you practice. You build the flow. You build the
Right.
bars, and then you like get the hang of it until you get to be an elite rapper, basically.
Right.
So that's how it goes with filmmaking.
So, and you said this was in 2016?
Yes, sir. 2016.
I feel like in just a few years, like, because I've seen like your work on Instagram and stuff, and it's incredible. So
Thank you,
to
man.
see like that progression, going from like you've never done it before to like where you're at right now. Imagine like another 4 years.
It's like when you love doing something, Nick, You just want to keep doing it, get better. You want to be the best. I actually want to be the best over here, and I'm not saying it out of ego. I want to be like that guy from Puerto Rico. That it's the greatest filmmaker from there. You
Yeah.
know, it's not out of ego. It's like I just want to be the best I can be.
Mm-hmm.
So when you love doing something, you just keep consistent. You keep improving, and you just basically turn great in it.
So how did you get this gig that you have now for like the remodel of the church? Like how did you find that?
So I have a friend which I inspired. He wanted to be a filmmaker like me.
Hey.
Yeah, so he's like my little brother. We used to do YouTube videos back in the days when I had a fitness channel. It had almost 1K subscribers, but I don't do it anymore. Going back to your question, so he was like my younger brother, to say like that, and he wanted to be like me in a way. So I started mentoring him, and he started making pretty good content. So he has a lot of connections because his parents are into politics. So he knows a lot of people. And one time he couldn't do a job, so he decided to give it to me. And from then, like the people in which I worked with in that job were like blown away with my work. They were like, damn, this is incredible. I actually did a video for the agency. Do you know that agency?
What agency?
A PHP agency.
I've never heard of it.
Patrick Bet David.
Mm-mm.
Do you know him? He's like a really famous CEO. Jay Griff know who
Okay.
he is. Yeah. So I did a work for them, and then months later, one of them contacted me. He told me like, "Look, I want to do this and this and this," and I was like, "All right, I'm up for it. I can do that." So that's how I got my gig, and now barbers and local businesses are starting to like contact me and want me to do work for them. So I'm really happy about that, actually.
Yeah, man, that's incredible. That's so cool how like the organic growth, like all you do is like you're just doing what you love, and like you put a lot of like you put your soul into it, right? You put a lot of effort into it, and then people notice and they're like, "Oh wow, this is really good. I'm going to tell other people about this guy because
Yeah.
we see what he does, and we see that like he's serious about it, and it's an awesome thing to have that happen."
Yeah, that's basically how it goes. You gotta trust the process, man. It's like at first I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm never gonna get a job at this. I was so frustrated. Well, you can ask Jeremy. I couldn't even afford a camera
Mhm.
to now having my first 1K job. It's progress, man,
Yeah,
and
for
I'm
sure.
really happy about it.
It's all about the baby steps, like little by little,
Yeah.
and then soon enough it's gonna start going up. So that's awesome. You said before that you had a fitness channel. When were you like a trainer, or like you just like how did you get into that?
It's kind of funny, but do you know who Christian Guzman is?
I don't think so.
No, he's like one of the biggest YouTube influencers out there.
Okay.
So I started watching him actually when I was like 15, 16, something like that. He was really young, but then I stopped and then I got back. So in a way, I wanted to be like Christian Guzman. I wanted to do my own thing. I always wanted to do my own thing, but that fitness stuff didn't work out for me because over here in my Iceland, people don't care that much about fitness.
Hmm.
So that was like holding me back big time. And then I quit. Uh, I had a relationship. spent 2 years in a relationship, like living with her and stuff, and we separated ways. Then I came back home, and I saved from my camera. Then I got into filmmaking, and I figured that this is what I wanted to do, because I wanted to do that ever since 2016. But what happens? I was combining filmmaking and fitness and doing like cinematic training videos.
Okay.
But then I realized, I'm like, you know what? I want to do something bigger than this. So I'm gonna go colder style.
And you were like, the fitness thing is like, it's cool, but it's not like it's not what you want.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's not really what I want.
Yeah. So growing up out there, did you have like, what was your childhood like? Was it like a quote unquote normal childhood?
Nah, it wasn't normal at all, man. I mean, I had one or two friends, but I've always been like a lonely person, child, because of my preferences. I was always like at the more technological side of things. Meanwhile, people were playing basketball and, just being normal childs. And I was always like playing video games or learning stuff about PC. And that's how I grew up, like on a PC and gaming, basically. I had more Xbox friends than friends in real life. So
that was like from a pretty young age, like you just gravitated towards that.
Yeah, ever since I have consciousness. Like my first game I ever played was Mario Bros. Like that's really old. And I went on full gamer, didn't have much interest in socializing with people that didn't have my own, like, similar interests. Then I got older, got a PC, started learning Photoshop. And that was like my first editing stuff. Like that was my first like spark right there, Photoshop. I started, designing, making custom banners, anime stuff, all that geeky stuff. Yeah.
So what about your brothers? You said that they took like the more traditional route, right? Like your older brother, you said he's 6 years older than you?
What?
Your older brother you said he's 6 years older than you?
Yeah.
And
So
they both your brothers took like the traditional route?
yeah, like my older brother has a normal job at Walmart and a part-time as a nurse. He's actually a nurse too. And he's married, has two childs. One is like 7, the other one is like 2. And that's about it. Like he's living his normal life right now. And my younger brother, he actually got married like 2 weeks ago.
Oh wow, very recent.
And yeah, and he's a police officer right now. And he started living with her. He moved out. So I'm just like the only child over here.
Yeah, I feel you on that. My older brother, he left home when he was 18 to go to college, and he hasn't lived here since. He lives in Washington. So he's been, how long has that been? He's been gone for like 12 years.
12 years.
But I just found out that he's moving back here. He and his wife are moving to San Diego. So it's pretty exciting, like we talk, kind of regularly, and I went up to visit him last year, but we haven't like spent like any significant time together in a long time. So it'd be cool to have him back here. And my little brother moved out of my mom's house in December. So like again, similar situations. Like I'm the only one here, it's just me and my mom. So it's it's nice though. Like I have I have the freedom and the space to kind of pursue what I want to pursue, and my mom's supportive of that. So I feel like I got pretty lucky.
Yeah, me too, man. Like my parents are really supportive about it. Like, they see potential in a way and
Mm,
they know what I'm capable of. So they're like, yeah, we're gonna support you in whatever we can.
that's awesome.
So we're blessed in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah, for sure. So you said you had like you didn't have a whole lot of friends growing up just because you were so into like video games and all the technical side of things. Did that did that like cause any problems for you growing up, or were you like pretty comfortable with being like as you said, like more of like a loner, like being by yourself?
Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable because then you get to college and you meet a lot of people and you're just introverted.
Hmm.
And or even high school, you're like, I don't want to be part of this. It's not like antisocial behavior. You just don't have interest.
Yeah.
So people start like calling you lame or I don't know, you're no fun, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And it's really uncomfortable. At first, you get used to it, and you're like, you know what, I'm just doing my own thing. If you don't like it, then brush it off.
Yeah. It took me a while to get to that point of like, if you don't like it, you don't like me or like what I'm doing, then like that's cool. Like it took me a really long time to like get to that state of mind, because I just like I have like people pleasing tendencies, like I wanted everybody to like me, and so I would do like whatever everyone else was doing even if I didn't really want to do it, you know and
Yeah, man. Like at first, you're like, you just want to be liked by everyone. Then you realize, you know what? They don't give me anything. They're not anything in my life at all, really. So why would I worry about this?
yeah.
Just start looking out for yourself. Actually, um, a lot of a lot of things that helped me growing up when I was like 17 or 18 was Jay Griff. Like I've known Jay Griff for a while now, man. And he was like always that older brother to me,
Mhm.
like giving me advice and what to do, not to do, just advice, like take it or leave it, obviously. So that helped me a lot in, pursuing my dreams and doing whatever I wanted, not caring about what people think. Like he's being that brotherly figure to me in a way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I've known him for a long time. We went to high school together, so
Damn. So
yeah.
the old Jay
Yeah,
Griff.
yeah. Like we used to party together and like
Damn.
get into trouble, so like
That's crazy.
yeah. So it's like I've seen his whole transformation, and it definitely was like an inspiration for me to kind of like not follow the path of everyone else, you know? Because
Yeah.
it's hard to like break away from that when you're like your whole life you're like, this is what you're supposed to do, and this is how you do this and this is what society does, and it's hard like to break out of that and kind of go out on your own. So
Yeah, definitely. Because sometimes I tell people, look, I'm not studying anymore, and they look at me like, you what? And I'm like, yeah. What's wrong with that? I'm just working and chasing my dreams. And like, you should go back and finish your bachelor's, which you're not gonna use at all anyways. But you feel me?
yeah, yeah, man. I had a job. I quit. Do you guys have Costco down there?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, so I worked at Costco for 2.5 years, and I just quit in December. And, some of my friends were like, what are you doing? Like, that's a really good job. Like, you have health insurance and you get, vacation. Like, you should go and get your job back. That was a bad idea, and I'm like, I was miserable every day going to work, and that
Look,
it wasn't enough for me.
what I tell myself always is that I'd rather make less money and be happy than
Yeah.
earn a lot of money and be miserable in my job.
Yeah.
That's what I always tell myself. And like, that's my advice to me. And so
Yeah.
I would rather do that.
That's a good point. Like for a long time, like I was always so concerned with like if I can make this amount of money, or if I can like save and have this much money in my bank account, like I'll be good. Like I'll be happy, and it got to the point where like I was working 2 full-time jobs and I was making good money, but I had no free time and I was miserable all the time. But I had the money and I was like, okay, like what's going on here? Like this was supposed to make me happy and it didn't. So like what am I doing wrong? And what I was doing wrong is like just going after the money rather than going after what I actually want.
Yeah, like once you get into, also I'm gonna add this, once you get into a deeper level of spirituality / consciousness, money doesn't really make you happy, man. It's like it's there to either pay bills or buy stuff you really not stuff to impress people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to be like this trendy fashion guy that wanted to dress really good and impress people and always look really good. And I'm like, wow, now I don't even dress like that. I dress like, bummy and stuff. I don't care anymore about that, man.
Yeah.
So
I did like thinking about it now, like a year and a half ago, I bought a car. I bought a brand new car, and I thought that, I was getting it because I wanted the car, but I think I just wanted to like look cool driving the car, and now, even after like 6 months of having the car, I was like, why did I spend so much money on a car when I could have just bought a cheap car? It would have done the same thing. Like I'm just going to and from work. Like it doesn't matter, and it's definitely like a learning experience, because now I'm paying $400 a month for a car that like it's a great car. It'll last me a long time. It's I got a brand new Honda Civic, so like that car will last forever. But did I really need it? No, I didn't. So it's just like all these like little mini eye-opening experiences, and they seem to be happening more and more. Like learning about myself and learning like what's right and what's not right for me. And it's cool to be able to notice those things and not just be on autopilot, like going through life, not looking around.
yes, my friend, that's like consciousness right there. You had your awakening. Like me and my friend basically had our awakening at the same time because we took a little something. I'm not gonna name stuff over here, and we saw the world through like a new window. Do you know that scene where like Doctor Strange, where the girl gives him a punch and he flies out of his body, and
I've
then
never seen that movie.
you never seen it? You should, man. Like it has a lot of lessons. The thing is, like he starts to see the whole world like, oh shit, this is like the world we live in. On like the world doesn't spin around me, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
So we had that awakening, and we saw what really mattered. at the end of the day, which is, love, being happy, being grateful that we're here, not material stuff. We appreciate nature more. You can keep adding stuff to that. So when we took that little something, it was life changing. It was like, after that day, I'm not the same Xiomar that I was before that day. Like, overnight transformation. Over that time, I was like struggling with THC addiction, marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I was like, you know what? I gotta quit this too, and I'm gonna pursue my dreams for sure. Like, it's like a slap in the face, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing, man. So that's how I got into that state of, being happy matters more than everything that people tells you that matter, but doesn't really matter. That's how I got there.
How long ago was that?
That was like actually a year ago.
A year ago?
Yeah, a year ago, because Jeremy started posting about this spiritual things, and I was really interested in them. So we did a little bit of research here and there, my friend and me, because we wanted to get into it more. And we found that, that little thing is basically a shortcut to, a bigger state of consciousness. And we decided to take it together. And man, it's crazy, because when we walked into a room, the YouTube algorithm was full of lessons and, things that matter. And you start absorbing all those lessons, and you're like, you know what, this is not coincidence. This is the universe working for us right now. We had a wake-up call. Man, I get the shivers. This is a wake-up call, and you've been, in a way, chosen. You woke up. Because, it's like taking the red pill on the Matrix.
Yeah.
It basically feels like that, man. I cannot describe it better.
Yeah, that's I think I know what you're talking about when you say like
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah. So mine, like, I think I'm coming to realize that like I was always like a little more aware of like a deeper level without actually knowing it. Like looking back at like some things that have happened in my life, like I think there was always like something pushing me in the right direction. I just resisted it for so long, And when I got sober was like the first like big shift in the right direction. And then I thought that like my life would be perfect and all my problems would go away. But that was just step one. So like after I got sober and like stopped drinking and doing drugs, then I had to like go deeper and like figure out what was really going on, And as I like dug deeper into myself, on the other end, I started climbing much more rapidly. Like my awareness and my ability to see things that I didn't see before, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I was gonna tell you that I've been seeing like your evolution. Man, you've been going really fast. You're a really fast learner, and like your intuition, man, on point. So congrats for that. It took me a little more time.
Dude, that's the thing is like, thank you for saying that. It's crazy because like sometimes, like a lot of the time actually, I feel like I can't like I'm not able to tap into my intuition, But then things work out better than I had expected. So like maybe like I'm being guided by my intuition and I'm like without realizing that that's what it is, you know. I think like I'm able to progress in the right direction. It's just that I'm not always aware that I'm doing it until after I do it, you know?
Yeah, like you're like, okay, so I did the right thing. It was the right choice
Hmm.
to do. Yeah, it
Right.
happens to me. It happens to me actually, man. I understand where you come from. Like at first, I wasn't sure about dropping out of college and doing all this crazy stuff. Then I'm like, I'm glad I took that little bit of something that
Hmm.
I told you. Like it was the best thing I've ever done in my life. I'm glad I dropped out of college to actually use a talent that the universe has given me. And
Hmm.
I'm really humbled about it. And I'm glad all the bad shit that happened to me, man. Like it builds character.
Hmm.
Like I'm not saying this to brag, but how many 24-year-old guys out there are actually serious about doing something and they're not partying and you know just doing their thing, grinding? Not many, man.
No, not many.
Not
I can
many.
tell you that when I was 24, all I did was party. So,
Yeah, but I don't blame you because it's the norm in a way.
hmm.
You gotta enjoy life. But since I grew up being that boring guy, it was like, I skipped that step.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
about it.
I don't think you're missing out on much, man. I think like the partying lifestyle is highly overrated, you know? And it's crazy that like if you don't go out and party all the time, you are the outcast, you know? Like it's
Yeah, it's crazy. Like there's so much people like that's the normal thing. If you don't do it, you're just weird or I don't know. You have something in your head, you're twisted. They treat you like you're crazy or something in a way because you rather stay in and do work or just be chill on your own.
mm.
So it's yeah, there's that. How old are you, man?
I'm 28. Actually, I turned 29 a week from today. So next Friday is my birthday.
So I want to ask you something. How did you said to yourself, I want to do a podcast and this is what I want to do?
Oh, that's a good question. So
Do you hear a noise outside?
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, like there's a car passing by with really loud voices.
Oh, okay.
All right, continue.
So this was like last summer. Um, I had this idea for like a brand that I wanted to start, and I wanted to do like merchandise, like T-shirts and beanies and stuff like that. And I ended up uh, I texted Jay Griff, and I was like, "Hey man, can we like hop on a call and like can I like get some advice from you on like what this could be, you know?" And we talked for a while, and we were on the phone for like an hour, and he gave me some really good ideas. But I realized that like I didn't want like I no longer wanted to just have it be like clothing, you know? And so I like the idea for a podcast just kind of popped into my head because I love listening to podcasts. And so I was like, it would be cool to like tell my story and then have other people like regular everyday people, you know, like it seems like a lot of podcasts are like very like big names, at least like the more popular ones, you know, and I think it's not as relatable to like the everyday person. And so I started the podcast, like I went out and I bought some used microphones. Cody and I went out and like just bought some, and we just, the first episode was just me talking to the camera, you know, like telling my story. And then
Yeah.
at that point, like I didn't have, it was so new. So it was like, it was hard for me to like get people on the podcast, you know? And so that's why Cody is on so many of them. For one, because like that's my boy, you know, like we've been best friends for a long time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the conversations that we have on the podcast, like very like deep, and we're like exploring ideas, like those are normal conversations that we have every time we hang out. So like talking about it on the podcast isn't any different, and like the conversation flows really well. And so we started recording like a good amount of them, and he was basically on every other episode for a while. And now, like, thankfully, like what kind of broke me out of my comfort zone of like just interviewing people that like I knew really well, you know. I interviewed the first one was I interviewed Cody's mom, and like I know her pretty well, but we've never like been like had a conversation together like alone without like her kids there who are my friends, you know. So like it was a little uncomfortable, like it was a, like a new territory for me in a way. And after that I was like, okay, I got to start getting like other people on here who I don't know as well, so that I can kind of build my communication skills and like learn how to do this better. And so I just started hitting up a bunch of people. And then in the Level Up Collective, you know, there was that channel where we can discuss like business things, and I just put it in there. And then you and a few other people were like, oh yeah, like we would love to be on it. And I was like, yes, like this is awesome. And so it's definitely like I can see the momentum growing now. You know, it's been almost a year. I would say it's been like 9 months, maybe 8 months. But the first few months, I was not very consistent with it. And for like almost 2 months, I didn't do anything at all. I didn't record anything. I didn't post anything on Instagram. And now that I'm like in the rhythm of it, like I don't want to stop. Like I'm I just released the 30th episode, and the next one's coming out today, and like this I think is episode 40, so like the one we're doing right now. So I have like a good amount, and like they're just going to keep going. And so it's cool to see like where I was last summer in regards to this podcast, and like having no idea what I was doing, you know. And now I still like sometimes I feel like I don't know what I'm doing still, but there have been like a couple people that have told me like, you know, you're really good at making people feel comfortable, and the conversation very like easy flowing, and it makes me feel like I'm doing something right, you know, and that this is not just something that I enjoy, but something that other people can benefit from.
Yeah, man, like exactly. If you're doing something and you feel happy, comfortable, and fulfilled with it, you're doing the right thing. Like you can ask anyone, and no one can tell you, look, you're not doing the right thing. You're not gonna do something with this out of your life. It's just a process, and I'm pretty aware of it because now we both are basically starting out. Like, let's be real. And you said once you got that momentum going up,
Mhm.
you're like, I want to keep doing this because I enjoy it. Other people enjoy it. Possibly a lot of more people are going to enjoy it on the future. A big thing, and makes you happy in a way, you know, not in a way, it just makes you happy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
man.
it's the same thing for me when like I post videos on Instagram and when like people are enjoying it and they're like, "Oh, that's great," or giving compliments, and I'm like really humble. So I bet it's the same thing when people come here in the podcast and they're like, "Thank you for having me here, and I'm enjoying this conversation right now,"
Mhm.
because maybe a lot of people will get to know my story, which is a normal one, our stories. And yeah, man, it's fulfilling, and I'm really comfortable right now in this podcast, just speaking to you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, you can ask anyone, I don't talk that much at all. Like, I'm not like a conversation type of guy. So yeah, you have a lot of potential, man.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, what's your like do you have any plans moving forward? Like what would be like where you're at right now in the journey, what would be the next step that you would want to do?
Um, so I got offered uh, an opportunity in some place that you might know with a certain someone doing videos for him.
Mm.
And yeah, you get me.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2021, possibly I'm moving there and making videos with that person.
Out here?
And yeah,
Oh, that would be awesome.
yeah. So like that's like the next move on my head for now.
That's cool, man. And I think that would be cool. Like it's an awesome opportunity for you, and it's also like you can kind of like get out of your comfort zone because that's like as far as like where you live, that's where I'm at right now. Like I've lived here, not in this house, but like in this area, in this city, my entire life, pretty much, with the exception of like for 5 months, I lived in like the Midwest in Illinois with my dad a couple years ago. But other than that, I've lived here and I've never gone anywhere else. Like I've been on some vacations, but I've never lived anywhere else. And so next year in like at the beginning of next year, I'm moving to out to a different state to live with my girlfriend because she lives out there right now. And so I'm like scared and like nervous, but it's also like I don't want to just live here my entire life, you know?
Yeah, like I feel the same. I don't want to, live here my entire life. I want to go out and know the world that we actually live in and all its beauties.
Mm.
So one of my plans is like trying to grow my Instagram now that you mentioned that. And then I'm gonna try and submit like my content to this company called Beautiful Destinations. They pay to you for traveling and
Mm.
making videos in different countries and stuff like that. And it's like really amazing. But you gotta be big to work for a big company. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, that would be incredible to get paid to travel to cool places. Like,
Yeah, man. That's like a no-brainer right there.
oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm hoping that you can come out here and visit before I leave, but if not, I'm only going to be I'll be in Arizona, so it's only like 5 hours away. So if you do come out here, I could just drive back out here. Like
Oh, sure, man.
if I'm gone by the time you get out here, then I'll just make the trip. It's only a few hours away, so that would be really cool to have you out here.
Yeah, that would be sick. Like we can do a kick-ass video editing intro for your podcast, and I
Yeah,
will be more than happy for you to give me the opportunity to even make you that, because that means you're trusting me,
yeah, yeah,
and
man.
that makes me happy. You're trusting me with your work, the stuff you love doing. and that means a lot to me.
Yeah, man.
Because
I've never, like I said, like I've never had anyone, like I've never done anything like that before. Like even just the little, like the quick little intro that you made, like I was like so excited about it. And you know, I've had like my older brother does some graphic design work, and he designed my logo. And so it's cool to like have creative people around me that can do the things that I can't do, you know, and to be able to connect with these people, you know, like it's like having these people in your circle that you trust and you respect, and you know that they know what they're doing and that they take themselves seriously.
yeah, that's like really important if you're like building a podcast or a following, or whatever it is. It's really important to have like that team of people that know how to do what you don't know how to do, to put it like that, because it complements you a lot, and it complements me a lot too, because people are going to see my work
Mm-hmm.
in your work. So it's like a win-win, man.
Yeah, I agree. So if you let me rephrase, when you get this job that you want where you can travel the world, where would be like the number one place that you want to go? Like where in the world,
Iceland.
top of your list? Iceland?
Iceland. I just want to go to Iceland, man. Have you seen videos of Iceland?
I've
It's
seen
crazy.
pictures, but I don't think I've like researched it a whole lot.
Yeah, you should go and look into Iceland. It has a lot of beauties and auras and a wall, beaches that are like black or something, or at least they look like that. And it's crazy, man. I just want to go there and see it by myself and maybe share it with people.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I don't even think that would have like popped up on my radar of like places that I want to go, but like now I'm interested. Like I'm gonna look as soon as we finish this, I'm gonna look up Iceland and see.
Yeah, you should. I'm gonna send you actually a filmmaking clip about Iceland that
Okay.
yeah, a guy made. He's actually really successful in that, and he's only 19, bro.
Oh man.
He has like 30K followers already. So yeah, I'm gonna send you that edit
All right,
of
man.
Iceland.
That would be cool. All right, my friend. Well, let's wrap it up. Do you want to shout out your Instagram or Facebook, any social media that you have so people can check out your work?
Yeah, sure. You can follow me on Instagram, Xiomar Cruz underscore. It's kind of hard to type, so it's like XIOMARCRUZ. That's how you read my name. And thank you for having me here, Nick. It's really an honor for me for you to take your time and give me an interview, an opportunity to speak and share with you. It means a lot, man.
Yeah, man. It was a pleasure to have you on here. This was a lot of fun. I think it would be cool to do another one, a couple months down the road and like see where we're both at.
Sure, man. I'm up for it.
Cool.
Totally. And like, thank you for having me here again, man.
Yeah, of course.
See you, man. And
Right,
thanks once again.
Signing out. See y'all
Signing
next.
out.